How's everyone doing today? I'm just coming on here I want to thank everybody, and I'm actually going to go down the list of 102 people, my special guests that meant so much to me. So I'm going to go from 1 to 102 and thank everybody. Talk about some of the special talks that I did, why I'm doing this, why I'm not doing it anymore. So I just want to say, first off, I love hardcore. I breathe, sleep, shit, eat hardcore every day. Same thing with hip hop, 90s boom bap hip hop, and the stuff that's coming out nowadays. I just am all about music. I listen to other things too, indie music and new wave and old school stuff and rock and stuff like that too. But really, I listen to hardcore every single day. I listen to hip hop every single day. I love it. I've been going to shows religiously since 1987. Still going to shows at age 51. I'm going to Jerome's Dream in June. So that's my next show that I'm going to. I don't see myself stopping anytime soon, bearing any health issues that I might have or whatever. But I'm going to keep doing it. I felt like I was going to do 100 talks and then end it. 2 of my talks got lost. Instagram kind of fucked it and didn't save. It kind of glitched, and then I lost 2 episodes. So I'm going to try to get those back maybe in the late fall. So I'm not completely done doing these talks, but it's been a hell of a ride. 2.5 years. COVID kind of spurred me to, do these talks, honestly. And I got inspiration from my brother Ron from Gene Scene Creamer's label. He was doing it at a small, clip. And I was watching his stuff, and I was like, wow, I know quite a bit of people from the scene and stuff like that, and I'd love to do that. So him and Eric from Jerome's Dream doing Micro Spy, like his podcast interviews and stuff like that, kind of sparked something in me to try and do this. I was bored as hell, COVID. I was trying to keep my family, safe and staying at home all the time, bored, not knowing what to do, you know what I mean? And so my other hobbies turned into doing these talks, which I'm the luckiest guy to do these talks because I got to talk with, friends, peers, idols of mine, all in this music that we love in the scene, whether it be screamo, metal, regular hardcore, tough guy hardcore, metalcore, sasscore, whatever you want to call it. Anything that's heavy, draws me in. So, it's just a labor of love for me. I love it. And, so right now I'm just going to go through a list of the bear with me, it's going to be a while, but I need to do this just to thank everybody. And it was very special to me, more than I can even say. And anybody that's ever even listened once or watched it for 5 minutes and couldn't stand listening to me say 100 times, I want to thank you. I love y'all. So I'm going to go through the list right now, starting from first to last, and then I'll talk a little bit more, and then I'll get out of here. So I had to write this down because 102 people is my first talk was Tim Meehan, my friend from around here. He was in the network and Fault. Very special for him to start this off. I've known Tim for a long time, and I love Fault and I love the network. It was a great band, the 2 great bands. So, and him being a good friend of mine, it was just natural. So, Tim Meehan was number 1. Nick Flanagan from Farewell Chapter, another good friend of mine. He was in Descent and Scars, and he's in a new band called Kosova, which just put out a new CD. They just played their first show. Go check them out. They got an Instagram, and I think they're on Spotify too. So check them out. Number 3, Nick Sadler from Daughters and Matadeo. Nick, another special friend of mine. I've known Nick for a while. Love Nick. So big shout out to Nick. Love you. Number 4 was Brian Furnett, another great friend of mine. They and the Children set up a ton of good shows in Connecticut. Yeah, I love Brian. I have crazy love for him. And on top of that, he's a Yukon Huskies fan, which, I mean, they won the championship this year. So Jeff Howe was number 5 from Reversal Man, Combat, his band Horsewhip, which fucking kills right now. Number 6, Jamie Mason, they were Wires. They just got back together again for some reunion shows. Great talk. I love Jamie. Looks like he makes some great pizzas. So big shout out to Jamie. Number 7, Travis from Piebald. Piebald, one of my favorite bands of all time. I just love Piebald. So that was a joy for me to get to talk to Travis. Number 8, Pat Masterson, Force Fed Glass, Daughters, Bastion, which anybody who has that 7-inch, can you please put it on YouTube so we can all, Chris, what's going on, brother? Love you, man. Yeah, just going through this list, just because everybody deserves to be mentioned again. All these people that I'm talking about, they're all on my YouTube channel. If you're interested or whatever, go over there, listen for a little bit. Some of the talks are like 2 hours long. Some of them are like an hour. But I'm going to keep going. Number 9, Matt Servin from Backstabbers Incorporated, As I Bleed, Life Passed On. Another guy from up my neck of the woods, great guy. Number 10, Tom Schlatter, which everybody knows who Tom is. UNI assistant, Hundreds of AU, now playing in Seisha, plus all his other bands that he's been in that have been amazing. Truly an honor to talk to him. Number 11, Alexis Marshall from Daughters and As the Sunset. I've known Lex since he was 15, when they were him and John were in a band called Cast Off Skin. Just big love for all those guys. I've known him for so long and just been around him, you know what I mean? So big love to him. Nat from Transistor was number 12, from Trap Them, Strange Light. Nat's a Celtics fan like me, so he's feeling my pain right now. Love Nat. Like I said, New Hampshire boys got to stick together, so big shout out to Nat. Number 13, Jason Green, Orchid, Panthers, great guy, funny guy too. That talk was amazing. Number 14, Mike Taylor, Page 99, Mannequin, Terminal Bliss, Pygmy Lush. I love the Taylor brothers more than I could even say. Their music is super special to me. And it was just an honor to talk to both of those guys. I mean, I talked to Chris for 2 hours. So if anybody wants to listen to that, it's on YouTube. Very special to me. Both these talks were like very, very special to me. Number 15, Porcell, Youth of Today, one of my idols. Straight edge was a big part of my life when I was young, and then it wasn't, and now it's back again. So Porcell was a great talk, and I was kind of nervous too as well. Like my anxiety in the beginning of these talks, you could see it was I was stuttering, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, honestly. But number 16, Brian Fair, another one of my idols. Overcast was huge for me when I was younger. Shadows Fall, just a great guy, amazing dude. Still going at it. Big shout out to Brian Fair. 17, Seth Babb, Funeral Diner, Peter Records, another amazing band. 18, Lowell Schaefer, Frail Body, one of my favorite newer bands, and it was fun. The funny thing is, I was trying to do talks with older gentlemen, older ladies, younger ladies, younger people that are in bands. Like I tried to do a big roundabout way in all the eras, so I wasn't just sticking to like the old school hardcore or like the late 90s screamo, early 2000s screamo stuff. I wanted like new bands from nowadays, old bands like regular hardcore bands, screamo bands, like you name it. I was just because that's what I love. I love everything, so that's why it was such a wide array of people and genres, I guess. Which I can't stand genres, anyways. But so I'm gonna go on. 19, Megan from Foxtails. I just saw Foxtails in Alston. Awesome band, awesome newer band. I mean, they've been around for a while, but just it was good to see her, and my talk with her was very fun. Nathan Ellis was number 20, Coalesce, the Casket Lottery. Coalesce, I mean, I saw them when I was really young, and it blew me away. I couldn't even believe what I was watching, honestly. And Casket Lottery is one of those bands that I still listen to, like, all the time. Just great, great band. 21, Dustin Bouchon from Examination of the, he's doing Fathers, that project Father that he does. I love the first Examination of the stuff. It's just so chaotic and crazy. It was a joy to talk to him. Pleasure. Dustin's a great guy. 22, Jeff Smith from Jerome's Dream. I feel like Eric gets a lot of shine, which I love Eric, don't get me wrong. But Jeff, like now more than ever, he's talking in more podcasts and interviews and stuff like that. But I'm just glad that I got Jeff to get to talk to, because at that time it didn't seem like he was on too much interviews and podcasts and stuff like that. So I'll be seeing him in June. I can't wait to reminisce and talk about stuff with Jeff. But yeah, I'm pumped to see Jerome's Dream. 23, Damien from For Your Health. Arrows in Her. For Your Health at the time. I'm not sure if he's still in that band, but that was a fun talk. I think he was smoking weed at the end of it, which whatever. But that was fun. 24, Chris Terry, Light the Fuse and Run, which is like huge band for me, huge. Saw them a bunch of times live. I love that band. He was in Flesh Eating Creeps, another great band. Yeah, Chris Terry's doing great things, writing books and stuff like that. If you don't know him, he's a great guy. So, 25, Mike from Endeavor. Another one of my idols. Endeavor was huge for me. Burnt by the Sun. He was in Nora. Yeah, just an awesome guy, awesome family guy. Yeah, Chris Terry is dope. He's such a good guy. 26, Pete Zetlin from Sinaloa. The nicest guy in hardcore. Like, the nicest guy. Done a ton of things for the scene. Sinaloa's back doing shows. Can't believe it. I mean, I'm pumped. I can't wait for them to play with Jerome's Dream. Pete, those Tin Can Fest that Pete did, there's nothing. Those fests are like so special to me. They're up here. I don't think anything can touch it. I mean, Fuck Fest was pretty good. It was up there too, but the Tin Can Fests were just bananas for me. It kind of got me into the screamo type of thing because I saw Seisha there. I saw Force Fed Glass. I saw Chispa and Enfold from, I think they're from Germany. Who else? Murdoch played that. Devola played that show. Portrait from Atlanta, I think they're from. Who else played that? Jerome's Dream played that. The fest that I went to was insane. And then the last fest that he did, I mean, it was like the second to last Orchid show. Combat played. Yeah, it was just incredible. So, Pete, I love you, brother. Next one, Jamie Behar from Seisha and Off Minor, Lytic. Another one of my good, he's a good friend. I love talking to him. It was a long talk. It was almost 2 hours too. Catching some heat, but he's my friend. So big shout out to Jamie. 28, Tim Singer, Dead Guy, Bitter Branches, Kiss It Goodbye. That's a big one for me. A lot of these things, it was like I reached out to these people and I didn't think that they would, it's like, who's this guy? He's just a hardcore fan or whatever. I'm not really anybody. I was in 2, 3 4 small, tiny bands that played. I mean, in my time, I probably played 30, 35 shows total in all 4 of my bands. Recorded some stuff, but I recorded a bunch of shows, and I think that's how people started knowing me, because I was always there with a camera. And nowadays I'm like, I have my iPhone, which I look like an idiot. But I mean, that's I really didn't think anybody would be like, oh, okay, I'll talk to you for an hour and a half, 2 hours or whatever. So Tim Singer, I mean, I love Dead Guy. Victory for me was, I mean, I loved the first few Earth Crisis things, but like Integrity, Dead Guy, Bloodlet, those were the bands that like really, Snapcase, not everything from Snapcase, but more the heavier, like darker stuff that Victory was doing was more for me. And Dead Guy was, it felt like they shouldn't even have been on that label, honestly. But yeah, Tim Singer was huge for me, just huge. Larry Everett was number 29. Welcome to Plague Year, Joshua Fit Battle. Great talk. I love those bands. Anything that Larry's done, I'm into. Lucky enough to see those bands. So live, I was blown away all the time. Larry's a great guy. Number 30, Kerry Joe from Makara, 1919. Welcome to Plague Year. I was kind of like a Welcome to Plague Year back-to-back on those talks right there. She's great. And her voice is just something else. I love her voice. And just a great person. So another great talk. 31, Sal from A Day's Refrain. Day's Refrain, super special to me. I got to see them a handful of times. I wish they went on to do a few more things. I mean, the Neil Perry split is incredible. The full length is something else. Like, I listen to it all the time. I love that band. Anybody who doesn't is crazy. But Sal's a great guy. Number 32, Ruben from Soul Glow, which is funny. I got a funny story about this talk. Ruben, it was funny. When I first started doing these talks, my anxiety was like a little bit crazy. I got nervous. Not that Ruben was like a big talk for me, like Tim Singer or Porcel or something like that. But it was just like, sometimes my anxiety, it mattered what the day was or whatever. It was like, so when I talked to Ruben, I almost fainted on like video. I felt like, after like 5-10 minutes, I felt super weird and literally felt myself almost passing out. Maybe I turned white as a ghost, I don't know. But yeah, I think that my anxiety, and you know, I was a greenhorn doing this. I never talked to anybody. Kind of a shy guy. So doing these things, I was kind of out of my realm. So a lot of people that I reached out to talk, it was almost like only a handful of people that didn't want to do this. But some people, because of the anxiety of being, you know, face to face and people seeing it, didn't want to do it. And I totally understood that, because my anxiety doing these was like up, especially in the first like 50. That's why I say 100 times. Because, yeah, so I almost fainted. Almost. Or threw up. I think it was like both. But I'll keep going. 33, John Howard from Moment and Switches. I've known John for a long time. John loves metalcore, which is weird because Moment and like what he likes is like two different things. But Moment is amazing. I saw Moment a handful of times back in the day. Just a great band. 34 was Ryan from Amitié and Dreamwell. I just saw Amitié again with him singing. Jesus. If you haven't seen Amitié now, it's something to behold. It's something to go see them play. I mean, I know they play in Providence all the time. Dreamwell's another amazing band. Ryan is a crazy nice person. Got to chop it up with him when I saw them live just a couple months ago. So yeah, I've got nothing nothing but good things to say about Ryan and the bands he plays in. 35, Matt Gordon, States of Seeds, Home of Troy, Kaiju, Descenso. He's another killer that's just been in so many awesome bands. Mecca is a madman, and I miss his talks with his dog. Rest in peace to his dog. I know he did like little blurbs of what he was getting in the mail, which I kind of miss seeing. So big shout out to Mecca. 36 was Jess from 1905 and Fighting Dogs. 1905 was super special. Got to see him a couple times back in the day. That was a great talk. 37, Will Killingsworth, another big one for me because Will doesn't do many of these, and like I said, who am I to get Will? You know, I've seen him multiple times. I've recorded at Will's studio twice, but I mean, like I said, who am I? Will has done it all. He's the godfather of screamo, hardcore, Orchid and Ampere and every other band that he's been in is he's, like I said, he's the godfather of screamo and hardcore. So it was just super awesome to talk to him. And lucky, definitely. 38, Jordan Bliley, Blood Brothers, Head Wound City. Blood Brothers was huge for me. Huge. Got to see him live once. Super special. And on top of that, such a great guy. Incredibly nice guy. So 39, Nick and Matt from Makara and Ruheda. Those guys are amazing too. I still shoot the shit with Nick all the time, back and forth on Instagram. Just two great people in the band. And Ruheda's back together again. I'm curious on, they're giving a little snippet of what it sounds like, but I can't wait to hear the new stuff and see what that sounds like. Yeah, Head Wound is dope. But yeah, the Ruheda, I'm curious to see what it sounds like now. 40, Dave Walker-Lechick from Harvest and Sunset. Dave's a special person to me. Harvest is one of my favorite hardcore bands of all time. Saw him a couple times back in the day. Dave is such a genuinely nice person. Another person that I kind of chop it up with behind the scenes. We've talked about possibly doing a podcast together. Much love to Harvest and Sunset, his new band. That's what I'm saying. When you get older, these guys are still fucking killing it at like late 40s, like mid 40s, late 40s, some 50 like me. But Dave is a timeless like gem, and I love Dave. 41, AJ and Daniel from Anton Boardman. That was a joy too. Anton Boardman, huge for me. Back in the day, saw him a bunch of times. AJ is a great guy. So is Daniel. They're both amazing people. If you never saw Anton Boardman back in the day, the best two-piece, like one of the best two pieces, I want to say, but just incredible and crazy nice guys. 42, Billy Warner, Seisha, Hot Cross. One of my idols. When I saw Seisha the first time, I listened to heavy metalcore. I was a moshy kid, kind of an asshole. My friend Brian Asaro and me went to the show, the Tin Can Fest. I don't know what was first. I think like possibly I saw Reversal Man and Assuck and Jerome's Dream, Frodis and Bastion in Rochester. It was either that or the Tin Can Fest where I saw Seisha at that time. It was close to the same time frame. Changed my mind. Once I saw those bands live, I was like, it wasn't even called screamo back then, but it was a different style of hardcore. And I saw that live, and it changed my life. It changed my mindset. Not that I didn't like the metalcore that I was listening to, but I kind of stopped moshing and being a meathead and kind of like geared toward that style of music. And that's been more of my style now than anything else, even though I still listen to all that, the chugga chugga music and stuff like that. I still love that stuff too. You know, that'll never go away. I can't just like love something and then all of a sudden hate it. It's just, but that's what changed my mind with that. And Billy was a huge part of that. 43, Antonio from the State Secedes, Maracate, Usurp, I Am the Resurrection. Great guy. Another person that I talk to all the time. A Butler fan, like the college Butler, which I'd love to go to Indiana and catch a game with him. I'm a huge college basketball fan. If you don't know, every talk I do, I have a college hat on. Just a huge college basketball fan, and I'd love to go there someday and catch a game with him. Antonio's a great guy, and I love him. And yeah, my next 44 was John from Daughters and As the Sunset. I've known John forever. He's doing Unsane now. Just John's awesome. I love those guys. I grew up with them, so I love those guys, and nothing will ever take that away. Who's next? 45, Derek from Sneeze, Fucko, La Antietam. From my neck of the woods. Antietam was huge around here for years. Bravo fucking Bravo and them and Furnace and that like group of bands playing all together in New England at that time. Daniel Stripe Tiger, another incredible band, just very special. And it's funny because I was getting like a little older, but I was still into that style of music. Those were newer bands for me, and Transistor kind of started it all off. And I was big friends with Brian Faber, and he basically got me to go to all these shows. Me and my buddy Brian Asaro. So that was like a very cool era that I got to see all those bands a bunch of times, and I got to play with Bravo and Antietam and I didn't play with Furnace, but so number 46, Ron, who inspired me to do these, from Gene Scene Kramer's label. If you don't know Ron, one of the nicest guys ever, great family man. His label is dope. Check it out. He's got a Bandcamp. He does a lot of tapes, mostly tapes, cassettes and stuff like that, but he does do vinyl and stuff like that. I know he's putting out like a lot of stuff soon. Wow Owls, that thing that he just put out, I think it was the last like recording or something like that. Just a great guy. Check out his label. I can't say anything bad about that guy because he's the greatest. So big shout out to Ron. 47, Chris Colahan, one of my idols. Swarm, Left for Dead, Cursed. That talk was very special to me. He kind of got choked up a little bit in that talk with me, which means a lot to me. It was very special, and I'm just glad that I got to talk with him, and people can see it because another great guy. 48, Dan Zimmerman, Harvest, Hope Conspiracy. Dan's been putting out some incredible live stuff from back in the day that he recorded. Anybody that doesn't know that, check out his IG page and his other IG page that puts out all the old recordings. He has a YouTube channel that does that. Dan's a great guy. Super stoked to talk to him back then. 49, Dave from New Day Rising, Spread the Disease. He just makes killer music. Killer, brutal music. Another fun talk. Dave's a great guy. Sorry. I think like right around that time I started doing more talks in my car because I was doing these talks at home, and for some reason I was getting glitches every time that I would talk or they would talk, and we'd kind of go back and forth. It would glitch out all the time. So that's when I was like, hey, if I go down the street to a gas station where there's a Verizon store and a liquor store, I'll just sit in it gave me a lot of bars, and it wasn't fucking up as much. So that's why I started doing it in the car. I know it's kind of ghetto and stripped down, but it is what it is. I'd rather have no hiccups than what was happening. You know what I mean? So, 50, Amy and Corey from Abrea Sky, another newer band. They've been around for a few years, but if you don't know that band, go check them out. Abrea Sky. They're from like the Edmonton, Canada area. Brutal, good stuff. Can't wait to hear the new release that they recorded. Big shout out to them. 51 was Doro, Samson Valdez from Diana Kralls, which is another great band that I love from up in Canada. 52, Adam Lowe from To Dream of Autumn, Rats into Robots. It was a great talk. I love those two bands so much. Adam's a great guy. This was a special one for me. 53 was PQ from Cell Press. Probably one of my top 5 talks that I ever did. PQ is such he reminds me a lot of myself. Maybe not as wild, but just a great talk. He loves the things I love, and if you don't know Cell Press, it's very refreshing, kind of old sounding, but like in a new, fresh form. That band fucking rules, and I can't wait to hear new music from Cell Press. PQ is just a great guy, and like I said, one of my favorite talks that I ever did, by far. 54, excuse me, Kurt Breck from DRI. When I was a young kid, DRI was the shit for me. You know what I mean? I was listening to thrash metal at the time. I saw thrash metal guitar players and whoever wearing DRI shirts. Started finding out about DRI, started listening to DRI, got hooked. Saw DRI a handful of times. PQ, I love you. Love you, man. Like I said, one of the best talks I've ever done. 102 talks, by far. Your top 5, easily. Big love. Yeah, so DRI, sorry. Yeah, they just were very special to me, and this was an honor to talk to Kurt. The audio is fucked in that interview, so if you ever watch it, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Pete, love you too. I'll see you June 3rd. Can't wait. I'm gonna try to record the whole set. Try to log it into the old Hal archives. Yeah, so DRI, like I said, I saw them a couple times back in the day. 4 of a Kind tour. I saw a Crossover tour. I think I saw a Crossover tour at Club Babyhead in Providence. It was a rough show, definitely. Definitely a rough show. Providence was pretty rough back then. I mean, Boston was rough too, but Providence was definitely rough too. I saw Excel, the California band Excel, in Club Babyhead, and it was, yeah. Jake, I'm pushing for new forms to open that show, the Gray Skull Booking. Put new forms on. Let them start that show off, that Jerome's Dream, Sinaloa, Elizabeth Colorwell show. Come on. Put new forms on there. Jesus. Next was another huge one for me. Hey, I was pushing for it. But yeah, number 55, Matt Copeland. I don't even know what to say about Matt. He's like one of the greatest people I've ever met. We talk back and forth. He just does like amazing BMX stuff at that age, which I can't even believe. Kind of inspires me to like, I play basketball as much as possible. I'm 51 years old. I try to get out there and play as much as possible, shoot, pick up games here and there, not much because of I have rheumatoid arthritis, so my bones are kind of not the greatest. But he inspires me to like stay in shape. I see him ripping it up on the bike, and one of my all-time favorite vocalists ever. The energy that Reversal had, nothing beats it. Like it's insane. And when I saw them, I was blown away. Like Reversal, man, my favorite band of all time. Bar none. Reversal. All day. So big shout out to Matt. I love Matt. Next, Bob Adams from 10 Grand. Another. when I was in high school, Sweethearts, I set up a show in Haverhill, Massachusetts, Exit 23. They were touring. I don't know how I got involved in, like, I set up the show, so it must have been Viva La Vinyl where they were looking for shows. I got in touch with them, and they ended up playing the show. I think it was High School Sweethearts, Barstow, and 10 Grand, and William Elliott Whitmore played that show in Haverhill. And the 10 Grand guys stayed at my buddy's house, Brian Asaro, who was my brother that would go, he helped me with all the High School Sweetheart designs and drove me to all the shows because my car was a shitbox. So yeah, talking to Bob was huge for me, and just the memories of coming back that they stayed with my buddy and we hung out with them that night and stuff like that was just incredible. Yeah, 10 Grand. Well, 10 Grand, and then they played the ICC upstairs the night after that in Haverhill with Granulina and Now Denial. I think the guys from Now Denial set up that show, that 10 Grand show, the day after the Haverhill one that I set up. Yeah, it's crazy. That 10 Grand was amazing live. Don't Vinny, don't kill a kitten, man. Don't do it. Vinny, I love you, Vinny. 52, Ryan McKinney from Trap Them, Backstabbers Incorporated, Life Passed On. I've known Ryan for a long, long time. We used to go to shows together. Not like me and him going to the show, but I'd see him all the time at Safe and Sound, where there was so many incredible shows at Safe and Sound in Rochester, where As I Bleed would always play, and Fragment, and Life Passed On, and Polyglot would play a lot up there. Fault, Ukla the Mock, Javier, Wes Unholds from American Nightmare, his band back then. So like I was always kind of around Ryan. We knew each other, and then I set up a few shows in Haverhill with Backstabbers. They played with High School Sweethearts a few times, and then when I saw the last Trap Them show that was at Sonia. Talked to him a little bit, and then he kind of disappeared, and wasn't doing a lot of interviews and stuff like that. And it was kind of hard for me. Like, I knew his wife through Instagram and kind of reached out to her, got his number, and then I had to make a fake, not a fake Instagram, but another Instagram just so he could get on the live because he not doing any social media. And I'm just super appreciative that he would even go through the fucking lengths to talk to me through hoops and whistles and shit like that, just to talk to me. So Ryan, very special. There's pictures of me and him in the pit back in the day at the Dover Skate Fest, where Overcast played. I think they were the headliner there, and Piecemeal and 40 Days Rain, and so just the memories just flooding. But big shout out to Ryan, love him, and thank you so much for giving me the time to talk to you. 58, Tim Glowick from Wolves, super underrated. I saw Wolves a shitload of times in that small vein that they were together. Wolves is super underrated, and Tim's a great guy. And if you want to get in shape, talk to Tim. 59, Megan from Punch and Super Unison. I was stoked on that. Reached out to her. She said yes. It was. I reached out to her a long time ago, and then it took a while for her to actually see the messages, which happens a lot. Because, like I said, who am I? I'm just some weirdo from New Hampshire. But she got back to me, months and months and months later, and we made it happen, and it was a great talk. 60 was another huge one for me. I got to talk to Nathan, Michael, and Paul from Creation is Crucifixion. one of my favorite that band is one of my favorite bands of all time. I love that band. And it was a super pleasure to talk to those three. Which is funny because that audio sucks too. I was at home. That's what I'm saying. When I'm at home, the Wi-Fi or whatever, the connection, it just was not working right. So it's super frustrating to watch that video. You kind of get what it is. You know what I mean? You can hear them. I'm glitching up in and out. But yeah, I'm bummed that it wasn't super smooth. But it is what it is. But Creation, incredible band. 61, Stephen Pierce, Ampere Montcalm. Saw Ampere shit ton of times, Montcalm a bunch of times. Two of my favorite bands. Those bands rule. 62, Nathan from Karloff. Karloff's another newer band that just rips from Canada. Nathan runs No Funeral Records. If you don't know about Karloff, I don't know what to tell you. That last release they did, bananas. 63, my boy right here, Vinny. Vinny, the man, Roseboom. Love Vinny. He's my brother. Gospel, Helen of Troy, Fake Piss, Medicinal. Can't wait to see Medicinal live, Fake Piss live. I'm ready. I'm ready to see some live shit. Vinny is one of the greatest people you'd ever want to meet. And on top of that, an incredible drummer. One of the best drummers I've ever seen perform. When you watch a band, you're watching Vinny. You know what I'm saying? Like gospel's music is incredible. Don't get me wrong. It's fucking crazy. But you watch Vinny most of the time, or at least I watch Vinny most of the time. And on top of he's a sexy motherfucker. So, yes, that's what I'm saying. One sexy dude. Your eyes, you know. I was undressing him with my eyes, you know what I'm saying? So, big shout out to Vinny. Love him. Yeah, like I said, you cannot watch him. That's the thing. Gospel is fucking incredible music, but Vinny is something on another level. Like, Helen of Troy, a lot of people don't talk about that band either that much. But that band is super special to me. Helen of Troy is amazing. Amazing stuff on top of gospel and what he's got going on too. Just another older gentleman that keeps going, keeps chugging. Like beast mode. Vinny's in beast mode all the time. And a great family man on top of that. Like 64, Travis from Song of Zarathustra, Book of Dead Names, two of my favorite bands too. Those bands rule. 65, Scott Mellinger, Zao, Creation is Crucifixion chapter. Scott's a great guy, amazing guy. That was a fun talk. Super generous too. Sent me like a bunch of Creation patches from way back in the day and some stickers and stuff like that. Yeah, that was a great talk. 66, Chris Tremblay from Ukla the Monk. No, I talk about Ukla the Monk all the time just because those guys kind of got me back into hardcore. You know, there was like a few years where I was just listening to the old stuff in the 90s. And those guys kind of really, once they joined, they made a band called Solomon Grundy. And then Solomon Grundy turned into Ukla the Monk. And if anybody, it's a metalcore band. They were signed on Life Sentence Records. Just a great band, and good friends too. Adam Dulong is a great person. Max is a great person. Chris, which was a pleasure to talk to. We used to hang out at Chris's house all the time. I used to go to their rehearsals all the time. I helped them with the name. I did most of the flyers that they put out. And then on top of that, I played my first band, Last House on the Left. Two of the people that were in Ukla the Monk, the bass player Wallace and Bulldog, the guitar player, we made Last House on the Left, which bummed out that we didn't get to play, shows, but we recorded a dope demo, kind of silly because it's like the 90s style of stuff, but it sounds real good, and I was proud of it. So Yeah, big shout out to Chris Tremblay. Great drummer, too, on top of that. But if anybody hasn't seen or heard Ukla the Mock, send me a message. I'll send you a link or whatever. Just a great band. 67, Iggy from Abnegation. Abnegation, like another one of my favorite older bands. Just great talk. And Andy's a hip hop connoisseur, so that was a great talk with Iggy. 68, Daniel Harvey, great Redneck Hope, Worry. Great Redneck Hope I got to see a couple times up here in New Hampshire. Always fun to see live, funny as shit. Those guys are a riot. I'd love to see them get back together again and do something. Worry's heavy, though. So if you haven't heard Worry, check it out. 69, Joseph Grillo from Garrison, Her Head's on Fire, a bunch of other bands. On top of that, he was like working at the Space, doing all kinds of shit there when all those epic shows were happening. Joseph knows his shit, and he's a great guy too. And Garrison is up there for me. So love you, Joe. Joseph Grillo. 70, another big special one for me. Eric Paul from Arabon Radar, Psychic Graveyard, etc. Super fun. I was honored to get to talk to him. A lot of people don't like Arabon Radar, and a lot of people love Arabon Radar. I'm one of the people that love Arabon Radar. And seeing him live, it's funny because when I first saw him, I was kind of taken back. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, and then when I started listening to him more and more, it really hooked me and kind of got me thinking outside of the box about stuff. And just seeing them live was incredible too. So that was very special. And anybody that wants to see that talk, it's on YouTube. Eric's a great guy. And again, a great family man on top of that. Sorry. Starbucks is... 71, Daryl from Snapcase. I love Snapcase. I love earlier Snapcase. But that was a special talk for me. Getting him on the show for me was very special. 72, Forbes Graham, another great guy, doing great things still now. Amalgamation, that Amalgamation Jerome's Dream split, one of my favorite splits of all time. Just the horns and Amalgamation kind of drew me in. If anybody's ever heard of the GTC back then, they were kind of similar with the horn structure in that chaotic wildness, with like some sick vocals too. So, and on top of that, Forbes drove the JD van like on tour and stuff like that. Knows everybody. Everybody knows him. Everybody thinks he's a great guy. I love Forbes. 73, Justin Pearson, another one of my idols. It was an honor to talk to him. Locust, Swing Kids, Def Club. He's still ripping it up. I can't say anything like more than what a great individual. He's just amazing in everything he does. So 74, Rusty Steele from Eclipse of Eden, Dispensing of False Halos, two bands I love. Saw Dispensing up here in Nashua, New Hampshire. Incredible. Just incredible. 75, Chris Taylor. I love Chris and Mike so much. I have 2 Page 99 tattoos. Chris, Page 99, Malady. That Malady record is insane to me. I love it. I wish they went further and did some more stuff. Pygmy Lush, Terminal Bliss, on top of his art that he does. You know what? I was thinking about asking him to do, a commission for me, paying for a commission for him to do like a zombie Hal Capone and do some chopping it up shirts. And I want to give, this is just a thought, but I want to bring it to fruition and give every guest that I had a shirt, and then probably have maybe make 20 more, so probably make like 125 shirts or something like that. But yeah, Melody. That record is top to bottom, incredible, incredible. Um, Next, 76 was Kip from the Red Scare and Panthers. Red Scare, another band that was underrated, not talked about enough. Red Scare is incredible. Everything that the Red Scare put out, by far, was incredible to me. Yeah, I definitely want to do the shirts. I'm going to talk to Chris. I was going to reach out to him, but I wanted to get this last talk in with Travis today, and then I'd love to do that. You know what I mean? Whatever he charges, I'd do it. It would be amazing, and I'd just send out all the shirts to my guests, and I'd have a few left over if anybody wants to get them. Yeah, back to Red Scare, just incredible band. And Panthers, a lot of people gave a little, when Orchid and a few, that didn't really turn into Panthers, but like Panthers wasn't really like, they weren't expecting what Panthers sounded like, but I always loved Panthers. Got to see them live a couple times. 77 was another one of my like special talks. Paul Burdett from His Heroes Gone, Tragedy, Death Threat. Like, it's hard to get in touch with those guys, and I was persistent. I mean, I wasn't bugging him, but I try to be as nice as possible. I love everybody. I mean, I'm super positive now, so I never got mad at anybody. Like I said, there was only a handful of people that said like, no, I'm not interested or whatever. So when he got back to me, I was stoked that I get to talk to Paul from His Heroes Gone, because His Heroes Gone is another one. Like, Reversal of Man is number one. His Heroes Gone is right there, close, super close to one. So that was great, and a fun talk on top of that. 78, Frankie Zerilli, my boy. I love Frankie. Great guy. Mayans, Lytic, Respirator, the new band. Whew. Man, just a great guy. He's kind of a historian too. He's always got the dope shirts, which I'm jealous. He's always pulling out these crazy shirts that he has. And I'm sure like his record collection is insane. But Frankie's a good dude. And anybody who's not following him or friends with him, be friends with Frankie. 79, Artie White. Artie White from Millhouse, Celebrity Murders, Indecision, Millhouse, one of my favorite bands too. Obscenity in the Milk could be top 5 albums for me. That 97 when Harvest and Millhouse and Endeavor put out those records, that was like a special year for me, definitely. So yeah, Millhouse, it was just a pleasure talking to him, which is funny because like we had an interview set up. I don't like saying interview. It's just like a talk or discussion, because interview, it just sounds so weird to me. I try to make the talks more like organic, like two friends shooting the shit. You know what I mean? Talking about the old times and what you have going on nowadays. Like, interview sounds just so weird to me. That's why I really didn't say that too much. But going back to Artie, we set something up, and then like, I don't know if he got food poisoning or whatever, but he was like throwing up and he wasn't sick, so we had to push it a couple weeks, but it happened and we made it work. So shout out to Artie, one of the best front men that ever has done it in this scene. 80, Matt from Love Lost But Not Forgotten. I love Love Lost. Got to see him in Nashua, New Hampshire. Matt is a special guy. Another person that I talk to here and there. Just super generous too. He sent me a Love Lost shirt. He had one in his garage that he didn't even know about. He found it. He's like, "Oh, do you want it?" I mean, shit like that is very special to me. I don't take anything for granted. Like, you don't have to do that. Those special types of things that happen is very, like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's very, very special to me. when people don't have to do things like that, and then they just send me stuff. It was, he said it was his last one, and he sent it to me, and the shirt is rad. I don't even want to wear it because I don't want to get it, I don't want to taint it at all. So yeah, that band is crushing. But Matt's a great guy. 81, Jeff and Rob from Breed Extinction. Played with them a couple times, set up shows. Saw them play in Connecticut a shit ton of times. Another band that's underrated, Breed Extinction. Rob played in Catharsis for a little while. That band doesn't get enough shine. Breed Extinction. Go listen to it. I basically made them put Alaska on a streaming thing because I was like, dude, where the fuck is your music? Like, you need to put it out there. Like, YouTube, I think, had the split with The Awakened and the 7-inch, but Alaska wasn't on there. The last thing that they made. So I kept pushing, and they finally did it. So big shout out to Breed Extinction and Jeff and Rob. 82, Drew from Torn Apart. Torn Apart was huge for me. I love Torn Apart. I saw him up in Maine in some weird upstairs barn type of thing with the Enkindles. Yeah, wild. But Torn Apart, that first 7-inch, so just brutal back then, but just I don't know what it was. It was just so raw. I love that 7-inch. I almost like the 7-inch more than I like the full length that they did. They did a couple full lengths after that, but the 7-inch to me, I don't know. People will probably argue with me, but that's the most special to me. 83, B.J. Anderson, Spirit of Versailles. That was a tough one because he wasn't really on social media, and it was tough to try and get him. Not that he didn't want to do it, but it was just trying to find him and getting his Instagram back on and doing all that stuff. Spirit of Versailles, super special band to me, and honored to get BJ to talk with me. 84, Mike D from CR, Celebrity Murders, Kill Your Idols, and 100 billion other bands that are amazing. That was a funny one. Mike DiLorenzo is a unique character and an awesome dude, and funny as hell. And I'm just glad he didn't rip me to shreds in our talk. But yeah, big shout out to Mike D. 85, Mike from Purity's Failure and Lunacy. Lunacy kind of turned into Purity's Failure. Purity's Failure was huge for me. Got to see him a bunch of times. I saw Lunacy a bunch of times. I saw Lunacy open up for Zayo and Dead Eyes Under, and Fault played that show at the Elvis Room in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And then me and my friends, the Fault guys and the Ukulele Mock guys and me, we went to Olive Garden with the Zayo guys, which was very interesting after that show. So, yeah, Purity's Failure, great band. And Mike's a great guy. 86, Anthony Baresi, Wrench from 10 Yard Fight. I love 10 Yard Fight. Great straight edge band. Saw them a bunch of times. Trying to think. The Rat was one of the most memorable shows. I think 2 weeks after I saw 10 Yard Fight, I got jumped by FSU and got my head split open and my ribs cracked and had to get stitches in the back of my head because I got jumped by 20 of them. It wasn't at that 10 Yard Fight show, but it was a Coming Correct show. Go figure. And who else played that? 454 Big Block. And who else? Blood for Blood. And it happened during Blood for Blood. So, yeah. So that was fun. Dave, love you, brother. Thank you so much for doing my talk and being friends with me. Your friendship means a ton to me. And I'm so glad that Sunset is ripping it up. Everything that you've done, I love. And just talking about, I'm wrapping it up for a little while. I'm not saying forever, but I'm going to take a long break. So just going through the list of people that I've talked to, your name came up, and I there's nothing more than love for you than I can even express. Love you so much, Dave. So I'm going to keep going. So Wrench, great talk. 10-yard fight is great. I love him. And the funny thing is, when I'm talking about getting jumped by FSU and stuff like that, dude, it happened. It happens all the time. I'm a kid from the suburbs that goes to the city. Back then, I might post some dancing vids. You never know. It's been a while. But I'm a kid from the suburbs that always went to Boston. And shit happened. You know what I'm saying? Things happened back then. And it never stopped me from going to shows. It was a shitty thing that happened. But I didn't have any hatred towards FSU. It was just like, without getting into it too much, it's like, I got cheap shotted. I struck back, and I hit the wrong person, and then all hell broke loose, and I was just lucky to get out of there alive. So, so that was that. 87, Jeff Kane from City of Caterpillar, Malady, Enemy Soil. That was a long time coming, too. That talk was a long time coming. It was like maybe 2 years I was talking with them, and they were like, waiting till the album came out, the new music. And it was at a perfect time that I talked to Jeff. So, City, saw him not a handful of times, but I saw him a couple times in Cambridge, both times. The Cage, Harvard, it was in Harvard, the Cage, that was a very special show. That City show that I recorded. Mannequin played, Transistor played, Neptune played, which is like an amazing band. If nobody's heard of Neptune, that they're on Instagram now. Make their own instruments, like incredible, crazy live experience. Seeing Neptune. So we're 88. James Bauman, Race Bannon. Race Bannon is another band that's in my top 5. I'm bummed. What? Neptune's playing again? Oh, really? Holy shit! Wow. They should play that Sinaloa Jerome's Dream show. That would be incredible. Wow, that's awesome. Back to James Bowman. Super generous. Sent me like a dope Race Bannon shirt. A bunch of other stuff. Didn't have to do that. Super, super generous guy. Race Bannon. By far, I'm so bummed that I never got to see Race Bannon, because just seeing videos of that band, makes me want to cry that I never saw him. And I still listen to Race Bannon all the time. So, wow, yeah, definitely send it to me. I can't wait. Wow, that's crazy. Let the fuck fright shine. Yeah, hell yeah. So James, great guy, and I love that band, Race Bannon. And I kind of talked with Travis about Race Bannon today, and my love for them too. So, my next 89 was Tom from Hawak. Hawak's one of my, it's been a few years that they've been around, but one of the best bands, newer bands that I've ever heard. That release is incredible from front to back. Got to see him live in Austin. Just an incredible band, and super nice guy. Super nice guy. I was talking to him before the show, just making sure, because I was skeptical about even going to that show, because they were having car problems, and they were coming from Canada, and like they got into an accident, and then they had to rent a car, and then that something happened with that, or whatever. Yeah, but New Forms played that show. That was a great show. But yeah, one of my favorite newer bands, definitely, by far. That album is crazy good. Crazy good. Next one, Justin Smith from Graph Orlock, Ghost Limb, Vitero Records. He runs. Another generous guy sent me a bunch of shit that he never, I didn't ask him. He just sent me some shit. like the generosity of like the people that I've met on here is just mind-boggling to me. I love Graf Warlock. I got to see him in Derry, New Hampshire. They played with Comadre. Got to record that. I love Graf Warlock. It's amazing. And I was lucky to talk to Justin. 91, talked to John Paul from First Aid Kit. I know a lot of people don't really know First Aid Kit. Great like emo, indie, rockish band from Connecticut. If you've never heard of them, do some digging and listen to that band because everything that they put out was stellar. Just a great band. Got to see him a bunch of times in Connecticut. Great band. Next one, 92 was Dave Norman from Zegama Beach Records. The guy's a beast. Just putting out beasts releases. And the fest that just happened, the ZBR Fest. Incredible lineup. Kind of jealous that I couldn't get down there to see that, but he's doing big things, and I love Dave, and he's a funny guy. And like I said, everybody knows Dave. Everybody. Next was Logan from Jillian Carter. Jillian Carter's been around for a long time, but still chugging away and still putting out incredible music. I love that band, and it was great to talk to Logan. 94, Matt Messina, another one of my boys. I love Matt Messina. I love every band he's been in. Helena Troy, Fake Piss, Medicinal, runs Sunken Temple Records. Just a great guy. Him and Vinny are like two of the greatest guys you ever want to meet. Just great guys. And I love those guys. Messina is just the man. First time I saw Messina, that I really knew it was him, because, I don't know. I don't know when the first time I did. But I do remember him in Atkinson when it was hot as fuck and that girl fainted in the gospel set. He did vocals on the last song that y'all played. Messina's a beast. I love him. And Vinny's, those two guys. If you don't know Matt and Vinny, then I don't know. You should go to bed. So, next up was 95 was Ryan and Tommy from Hassan I Sabah. Kind of got them right when they started getting their Instagram going and stuff like that. I think I was around those guys, all the shows that I went to, and we never met each other. Like, if you listen to the talk, he was, they were like, hey, I think I was standing right next to you when you recorded this. Messina does smell like love and honey muffins. He does. I've had some of his honey muffins, and they're pretty damn good. So Ryan and Tommy, special talk. Hassan I Sabah, kind of people forgot about, I feel like. And now that they started doing the Instagram and stuff like that and doing talks and stuff like that, I feel like, they're getting a little more shine. So I'm glad they're back talking with people and getting out there. 96 with Piper from Roman Candle. Roman Candle. You don't know who Roman Candle is? A great new band from Las Vegas. Great new band. Piper's doing some dope artwork too. So go listen to Roman Candle. I hope they get up here in the Northeast sometime. I'll definitely be there for sure. 97 was Scott from Enkeflin, Hamilton. Hers, Letters in Binary. I'm fucking pissed that I was in Florida when Hers played up here. But Enkeflin, funny story, if you didn't listen to the talk, it was another one of the shows that I set up here. Not sure, I can't remember. Like I said, I think I did all the booking through like Viva La Vinyl for touring bands because I was setting up shows at Exit 23 all the time with my band, and they needed a show. I don't know how far they drove to. They came in and blew the fucking doors off at that place. I was taken back by the energy of Enkeflin. And then they stayed at my buddy's house again, Brian Asaro. We got to chill out with them that night and stuff like that. But just great memories. And that band fucking rules. And people should listen to Enkeflin. '98, Brian Dingeman from In Loving Memory, Dispensing of False Halos. Great talk. In Loving Memory, back together again. Doing new music, playing shows. Wild. And I'm happy for them. Truly. Brian's a great guy on top of that. 99, Justin and Mary from New Forms. New Forms is a great newer band from, Boston, Salem, Massachusetts area. I've known Justin for a long time. I think the first time I met Justin, if you didn't listen to the talk, it was like the Great Redneck Hope show in John from Bravo's basement. He kind of came up and was like, oh, it was a cool patch, like, oh, that tattoo's rad, like, and then we started talking, and then my other band, at the time, Golden Age of, that turned into Paper Plane Crash, played with Alessa, his old band, in Manchester, at Tyler's house. If anybody knows, Tyler's house in Manchester was the spot back then. Dope basement of his kid's parents' house. That was really, really dope. But New Forms, like, I can't wait for the full length. I'm like chomping at the bit for it. And I'd love to see them open that Jerome's Dream show. So everybody, go see New Forms and listen to them. Yeah, Tyler's house was great, Pete. Saw Sinaloa at Tyler's house. Which is funny because, like, Tyler reached out to me and was just like, oh, those were fun times and stuff like that. So, like, he's still on social media and stuff like that. I think he lives in Chicago now, which is crazy. Yeah, I can't wait for that drop. I'm itching for that drop. Yeah, Neptune, New Forms. Let me set up that show. How epic would that be if Neptune played that show and New Forms opened up? That show would that's the lineup, like back in the day. That type of stuff. Oh yeah, Kid Crash. Oh shit. I don't know if I went to that show. I saw Kid Crash somewhere else, but I don't think it was at Tyler's house. Yeah. I forget. You did Sinaloa play with Furnace there? Was that show? I'm trying to think. My memory's so gone. So many shows. So many shows that I just can't think. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be so good. I want to set up shows soon too. It's just we gotta have New Hampshire show. New Hampshire's dead for shows. It's crazy up here. It used to be like pumping, and now it's just dead. Manchester does some, but it's always at like a bar or something, which, like, I'm all for going to bar, but like I want a basement show, or I want a VFW show, or I want something that like makes me feel like back in the day. Yeah, I saw some videos. How was that Keen show? But yeah, I definitely I'm gonna try to do something soon. Yeah, man, just weird. A weird crowd shows up there too, which is, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like I said, I'd love to set up something like VFW or Town Hall. I know I have some where I live. I have some pull in the Town Hall, which would be pretty dope if I could set up something. I would pay out of pocket. I don't give a shit about money, but I would love to do something like that. Just one more show that Hal sets up. You know what I mean? Because the last show that I set up was a Sinaloa show. Bravo played, Antietam played, Trojan Horse Attack. Is that the band that played? Yeah, so that was the last show. That was a long time ago. So I'd love to set up something, and that would be great. But I'm an old guy, so we'd have to start the show at like 3. But I'm almost done with my special guest. number 100 was Travis Chance today, Usurp and Fax Arcana, which like I love Usurp, and that was a great talk, and Travis is a great guy. I know some people talk shit about him back in the day, but he's been nothing but nice to me. So big shout out to Travis, great guy, and a handsome devil too. And just the two talks that I lost. So I did 102 total. I did 102 total talks, and two of them got lost. Instagram screwed up and kind of glitched on me and froze. And so Kathleen from Circle Takes a Square was a great talk. Anybody that saw it live, thank you for watching. And Dimitri from Dillinger Escape Plan, which was a huge one for me too, which was super bummed that didn't get saved as well. That's why, I came on here to talk about that and stuff like that. That it really bothers me that I lost those two, and I wanted to get 100 on my YouTube channel, so that's why I went to 102. That was my first thought was I was only going to do 50, and then I was talking to my buddy Ron, and he was like, "Oh no, dude, you should do some more stuff, and you're doing so good, and you have a knack for this," which I don't think I do, but he was saying all that stuff. So I was thinking, I was like, all right, I'll do 100 talks, and then two got messed up, so I did 102. I'm not saying now that I'll be done forever. I just need a huge break from this. Not that I don't love it, but it's just I'm a family. I have 3 dogs. I have 2 daughters. I have a wife, full-time job, juggle. I'm a taxi for my kids. They need this, they need that, they got to go here, they got to, this sports event's happening, this sport, and then whatever I'm doing on top of that. So it's just a lot. And now that COVID restrictions are kind of gone away, just people are doing more, and my family's doing more and stuff like that. So it's just time for me to take a break. I'm not saying I'm done forever, definitely not. I reached out to Catherine and Dimitri to try to run it back. So I'm thinking maybe fall, early as fall, probably. I'd like to get them back on and do our talk justice and get it back on here. Other than that, I just had a few notes because my brain is fried. So I'm not. There's still friends of mine that I want to get on here, and I apologize to anybody that I've talked to through Messenger that I was gonna set up talks and it never happened. I apologize for that. Love those bands the people that I was talking to behind the scenes, and I just need a break. But so I only had a handful of declines. On top of that, my live got suspended 3 times over the dumbest shit ever. So that was frustrating and kind of made me not want to do this either, because I had to go on my other account, which has 100 followers. And not that I care who's watching or whatever. I really do it for my friends and the bands and people that I love. I don't care about how many views I get or whatever. So that was frustrating. I mean, getting suspended from live was really, really frustrating. And I just want to say, big shout out to the people that influenced me and the friendship from my earlier friends that kind of kept me going with hardcore. Brian Asaro, big, huge shout out to him. He drove me everywhere. Helped me with the videos. Some of the bands I didn't want, you don't want to record with a camcorder the whole time. He helped a lot with my camcorder. Put stuff on VHS, sent it to bands. I didn't have that. I was just a scrappy. yeah, so yeah, I just want to thank Brian. I want to thank Adam Dulong from Ukulamak, Max Freeman, who played in High School Sweethearts with me and Ukulamak, did a bunch of other projects that were really cool. Ed Tracy, another great friend, we were always together. Tony Lombardi, another great person. Yeah, Brian was the madman. He had the VHS going. Like I said, I was a scrappy kid. All I had was the camcorder. He had the car. He had the transferring method. Like, he was a beast to helping me with stuff. I miss that dude. He doesn't go to shows anymore. I don't really talk to him, which I kind of like, pretty sad about. But yeah, big shout out to Brian. Great guy. Tony Lombardi, like I said. Me and him are going to the Jerome Stream show. He went to a ton of shows. He also was running camcorder at the time too. So on top of that, what I have going on, if anybody wants to listen to my old bands, they're kind of shitty, but High School Sweethearts has a discography thing on the Gene Scene Creamers Bandcamp. A bunch of live videos on my YouTube channel from High School Sweethearts. Last House on the Left demo, the band I talked about, my first band with the Ukulamak kids. Adam does some backing vocals from Ukulamak on there as well. He went on to do Kanai. So that demo's on my YouTube channel. There's a Paper Plane Crash song. I'm going to try to get the other 3 songs on there. That was the last band I was in. Shout out to Rob Brown. Love you. Yeah, that we were the Golden Age of, and then we changed our name to the Paper Plane Crash. And then I quit the band just because, I don't know. I'm a dick. I don't know. On top of that, with these talks, I'd love to. I'm not, like I said, I'm not done completely. So if like there'd be special things to bring it back. If anybody from Cobra Kai would get in touch with me, I'd do a talk with one of them. Majority Rule is another one of my favorite bands. I would do a talk with any one of them. Converge, I would talk to. That they're tough. Jacob politely declined, which I love Jacob, and he was nice enough to be like nice about it. You know what I mean? So like I said, who am I? You know, they're a big band. Omega Man from Florida, huge band for me. Yeah, if anybody from Omega Man wants to do one, I'll set that up. Yaphet Kotto, that's another band that I would do. And on top of that, some friends of mine, like real friends, Carl from The Fail, who lives in Rhode Island. We were gonna set something up whenever he's ready. We'll do one because he's my friend. We played shows together. So yeah, I'd love to do one with Carl and Frank Stapes, of course, Herjaza, Murdoch. You know, pestering him, and he's a great guy, and he sends me stuff, and we talk all the time. Yeah, we just can't get it to work. So Frank Stapes is a fucking beast, and I love that guy. And anytime he's ready to do one, I'm ready to do one. Same thing with Carl. So I'm not completely done. It's going to be big lull going on, but I want to thank everybody for, you know, giving a shit about this and listening or watching any video on YouTube or I really, really appreciate it. It's super special to me. All the special guests that I've had mean a ton to me. I love everybody that I've had on. I never had a bad experience. No one was ever a dick. Like, I just had, there wasn't cancellations. There wasn't you know what I mean? It was just an incredible experience. So on that note, I'm not totally done, but it'll be a long time. Unless Frank hits me up tomorrow and says, all right, let's do one next week. Then you might see me again, you know, but, yeah, anything else that, anybody wants to talk about, I'll be on here probably for another 5 minutes or so. And, yeah, thank you, Vinny, so much. Herjaza rocks. I can't believe they just played with blind girls. pissed that that's not up around here in Boston. But yeah, Frank's got it. Like me and Frank been talking for so long. Like I said, and every time I ask him, he's like, "Oh, I got this. And like, I love Frank. Frank is amazing, and I have a Murdoch tattoo, for Christ's sakes. So yeah, we got to make it happen. Like push Frank. So Frankie, love you, brother. Yeah, I want to set up a show though up around here. I've been talking about it. Frankie, I talked about that with you. It just didn't work out that time. There was like, the seasons were kind of changing and like people were getting sick again. So I apologize for not reaching out to you and trying to figure that out. But I am trying to work on setting up a show in the near future up in New Hampshire, most likely, which is kind of a stretch for some people. I mean, a lot of people from Massachusetts, it's not that bad, or Rhode Island, it's not that bad. Connecticut, not too bad. But yeah, it's tough for anybody else because it's kind of in Nowheresville. So, oh, no kidding. Oh, you have some VHS tapes? Yeah, my buddy Brian, see, that's the thing. I had the camcorder back then. We'd go to his house, put the 8mm in, like in the camcorder, connect the cable to the VHS. He'd zap the VHS, and then like I said, he had all the money. I was a scrappy kid back then. I didn't have 2 pennies to scratch together. So he did all that shit, and that's why it was very special to me. Yeah. I'll get in touch with you, Frankie, because I want to make it happen. Definitely. I think my family's back here now, so you hear my dogs barking. But I want to thank everybody. I love you guys, and hit me up anytime. I'm always down to talk. Hit me up through Messenger. Get my phone number. Let's shoot the shit. Like I said, love everybody, and thank you again for watching. I'll be back.